Hello and welcome to Getter Farms. We're back with an exciting new episode of the Flint Hills map by JS Mapping, and today we've got a special treat. We have decided to trade in the two 790s we started the series with and go with the X9. Yeah, I don't got any excuses. The X9 just looks cool. We decided to go for it. So let's go ahead and start hooking these up while we talk a little bit about a couple of things that have been happening in the series. Off camera, I've essentially fast forwarded time for the last, 6 or 7 days of season since we got done spraying because, well, there's just not a lot else to do. As you saw last episode, there was a fair amount of frustration with feeding the pigs. That frustration has not really changed per se. I think we're going to get a placeable here soon. But I'm trying to find the right menu here. As you can see, we just cleaned up their cleanliness, so they need a little bit more. But holy cow, we've got, or should I say holy pig, we've got 480 pigs. So, yeah, those 50 mature pigs that we bought at the start, yeah, they've been cranking out pigs every 3 days in seasons, I think. So, yeah, we got a lot of pigs, and they're all going to be ready to sell at some point here, too. And so, some point in the next 24 hours, we're going to have to sell some pigs. But I really want to get a start on harvest here. So I thought we'd go ahead and get set up for harvest, do a little bit of harvest, and then maybe we'll take a break some point in the middle of harvest here to run a couple of loads of pigs up to the animal dealer. There we go. These things are super nice, and I can't remember, did I hook this up? I hooked this up. Good deal. So we need to likely get this guy out of the way and get the other X9 hooked up here as well. I think that these nice big headers are going to really chew through the crop here for us, so I'm excited to get going. So I think what we're going to do is start off on this spot here behind the bins again, like we've been doing with some of our other field work. The struggle we're running into right now, however, is that the crops are a little wet. And so now we just need to wait just a little bit for the crops to dry out. If we hop out here and take a quick peek, we can see that the ground is 21% moisture. I think it's got to get 2 or below 20. So we should be, right there. So let's go ahead and we're going to generate a new course with the lands mode and see if that's going to work for us. I always forget to use lands mode, but it makes it a lot easier to empty the combines out if the grain cart has somewhere to run up down the middle. And since these are such big fields, I think it's going to be important for us. Now, I'm seeing a number of places where this is going to cause us heartache during harvest, but since this is such a massive field and 2 combines is going to take so long to run, I'm not too worried about it. We're gonna have a few issues to deal with no matter what we do. So I'm gonna go ahead and just take what I've got here. I'm gonna let it run the left side. I'm gonna just check all of these options real quick. And then we're going to take the corners off on this little spot here because I think that no matter what we do, course play is going to have a little bit of problems with some of these smaller areas like this. And so we just need to make sure the combine's running good. And this is going to give us some precision farming data to look at here in a minute. I've got my mini map up in the lower right hand corner, and I'm just going to close that course play window for a second while we're not using it. You can see from the mini map there that we're getting green harvest yields here off of this field already, which is good. I don't think it's quite at the maximum because we didn't put down any lime when we originally set this field up. So we're probably a little bit below the maximum. But we'll go take a look at the more detailed view of this on the big map here in a little bit after we get this field opened up. And so visibility is a little poor inside the cab with these big air headers on. I'm going to just run outside, I think, for the time being. And my plan is really just to open this up here. I think we're just going to take this little corner piece out just to give us some room to move around with the equipment. I think it's going to just make our lives a little bit easier. We're not going to miss as much. We'll be able to set up all of the courses for like the grain cart and stuff right there, starting right here in this corner without worrying about it running over any crops or anything like that. So plus it's always fun to get to drive the combine a little bit. I think when we do corn harvest, we'll probably take one of the fields and do it all manually. Probably that field 16 there up at, by the road. That seems to be a good field to try and do things ourselves. For this field, though, I think that there's no way around it. We're going to have to leverage some course play to get it done. So with that, I think we've got this field opened up enough. What I'd like to do is turn the combine off here, put our arm out. I want to get the grain cart over here. Man, this thing is just massive. I guess the good news is we won't have to make too many trips back to the truck, but when we do trip back to the truck, we're going to have enough to fill more than one semi-truck. Probably should have thought about that at some point. I think we're going to have to add another semi to this farm, or at least another trailer. I guess we've got 2 trucks. So we've emptied out this combine to start with. Almost 100 bushels, not even 3% of this cart, so we're going to leave him there. We're going to get course play going for both of these guys, and then we'll sort out our trucking situation. So he should be good to go, I think, here. While he's getting his start, let's go get the other guy set up. We're also going to run vehicle convoy on this guy, and we're going to go ahead and get him started. And in case anybody's curious, 6 hours, 11 minutes is the estimate to harvest with 2 X9's with 45-foot heads on this field. That's a lot of hours. We've got some thinking to do. However, in the meantime, let's just kind of go with it for now. And then as we get course play running here somewhat successfully, we will look at what our options are. I love that the precision farming map is updating even with course play, so I can see how the yield is for that other worker a little bit farther away from us. And with that, let's grab the grain cart here, and we're going to see if we can catch up with this first combine and unload him as he comes around the shed here. Just because I want to make sure we're able to keep him going, and we're going to come up against these trees here shortly. And so the name of the game for us today is probably going to be running grain cart. Once we get the headlands opened up, I think we're going to be able to have some more options here, but in the short term, I don't really trust course play to try and unload on the edges of a field. And this field is quite massive. I think it's going to take us a while to get all the way around the field. Whoa, we are running over crops. All right, I think we got a fair amount out of the first X9 here. We should be able to more easily unload the one in the rear, so we're going to just get turned around here and wait for him to catch up. I think we've got some time. I don't think he's going to be near full by the time we get here. I would like if there was a way, again, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, for me to cycle through my mini-map and get the precision farming mini-map in this location, even though I'm not currently harvesting. I'd like to be able to see the harvest yields from the grain cart sitting next to me. That would be a really cool addition to precision farming, I think. And it looks like we are actually getting quite a bit of beans in here, so I'm going to hop on over here, get the cruise control all set up nice. And I'm hoping I can make it, well, I'd hope for as much yield as I could get. But what I was going to say is I'm hoping that I can make it all the way around the field with this grain cart without having to unload it. The fact that we're already at 20% of this massive grain cart and I haven't even made it around the farm yet tells me that we're definitely going to have a lot of beans here. And so I know I was a little bit worried about the fact that we have, what, like 1.75 million in debt. We're going to have a lot of beans to sell. Let's check those numbers out real quick. Yeah, 1.75 million in debt on this farm so far getting started. So definitely a lot of money has gone into getting this farm going. I did swap the X9's out and the 790s at face value, so I will admit to that one. But other than that, we've been pretty honest on this playthrough with spending money and borrowing money. So I'm really kind of looking forward to seeing how harvest goes here. Now I'm going to catch up and unload this combine after he makes the turn here on the end. And then I want to take a look at the precision farming map for a bit and see how some things are panning out on the big map. All right, this road or this ditch here is pretty flat. Some of the ditches on this map are intense, like the one right across the street from me is pretty intense, which is somewhat realistic from my experience in this area. So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying we're going to take advantage of this particular flatter grass shoulder here to unload our combines on the go, I think. And yeah, we're just cranking in the yield here. So while that's going, let's go ahead and look at the precision farming map for a minute. So the first thing I want to show off is that if you look at the nitrogen map here, you're going to see that all of our nitrogen levels have improved by one step, about 40 kilograms per hectare by having soybeans planted. And so that's really cool that it takes these things into account so that we're increasing the nitrogen level in this field. So not only did the soybeans not need nitrogen, we're putting nitrogen back in so that when I get around to needing to apply more before I plant corn next spring, I've saved money because I won't have to apply as much nitrogen. So that's really cool. And if we look at the yield map, you can see I've got different yields here. I've got these green areas here, which are yielding at, it's hard to tell, but I believe that is somewhere in this 110 range probably. And then you've got the yellow areas where I'm only yielding maybe 85-90%. And a big part of that is based on the soil type here. As you can see, the loam sand type, I'm getting much better yields than I am in this silty clay. The silty clay takes a pretty big hit to the yield. So most of this field is going to yield pretty good with these gray areas here. And so I'm really excited to see all these cool additions with precision farming and the fact that my one field doesn't yield the same everywhere in the field because I have different types of soil. It's just a really cool addition to the game. Makes everything feel a little bit more realistic. And the game always felt really flat to me, right? You know, you were either yielding well or you weren't everywhere. And so having a little bit of variation in my fields, that's going to be really cool. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to unload this front combine while he's going around this farm with the fence. And so I'm going to stop here and let him try to get down to that road again. And we're going to jump back here to the farm and grab our semi and bring it down somewhere down here to hopefully be able to dump a load out of the cart and give us a little bit more room to get up around the backside here. Now, we've got to figure out how to set course play up to start running some trucks for us at some point. But until we get the headlands opened up, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me because we're not going to be dumping from that end of the field for quite a while. Once we get the headlands opened up, we're going to be starting from this end and working our way towards the far end of the field. So I think for now, we're just going to run a truck down there and park it and dump into it, and then we'll drive it back up here when we get a chance. Now, realistically, I think I've already got enough grain in that grain cart to fill this semi, but I left the grain cart in kind of an awkward spot to unload, so we're going to just run this down to the other side of that farm, and then hopefully I'm going to be able to catch up with the combines and unload them one more time. And then we'll dump into this truck and figure out what comes next. Given that this is the first time we're farming these fields, there's a lot of just figuring it out as we go right now, I think. Once we get a harvest under our belt, subsequent harvests are definitely going to be easier, but I think we're also going to be expanding the size of our equipment in this farm operations quite a bit. Just based on the fact that this is 6 hours to harvest this field, which, you know, all things considered in a real life scenario is not that bad. But in a farm sim scenario, we could run 4 X9's, right? I mean, that would be acceptable, I think. It'd be fun at least. So we're going to run back up here and grab our grain cart. It looks like our lead combine was able to make the corner, so that's somewhat exciting. I think I'm going to skip past this guy and get straight up there and see if I can get that lead combine to unload before he has to stop. It's looking tight. I don't know if I'm going to make it. Nope, we didn't make it. Oh, please don't do the cutover thing. You don't need to. I promise you. Alright, hang on. He's trying to cut in so that he's got room and... Well, he's already done it. If I could have stopped him before he turned in, I would have stopped course play and then got him started again. I do like that these X9s seem to have a really fast unload speed here. So it does not take very long for them to get emptied out, get going again, even when we're stopped like this. So that's going to be a nice addition here compared to some of the other combines that I've had to deal with in the past. Alright, let's get out of the way, let him do his thing. And then hopefully we can actually get the next guy going here, though, without any problems. And so what I'm really curious to see is how fast this Balzer is going to unload into the combine, or into the semi here, because that will also be another bottleneck for us if this thing unloads super slow. But based on the size of that auger, I don't think that's going to be a problem for us. Alright, it looks like I've got them both emptied out here, so let's run back up the road here and see how this is going to go. I'm really hoping this is a speedy unload and we can get back on our way. Let's see here. We don't have any controls over our auger either. Interesting. This is a speedy unload. Look at it go. So there's the first hopper. I'll let that fill up. I want to get in the semi here. I'm curious how full the semi gets. That is 1,135 bushels. That's impressive. So we'd probably be able to hold enough to fill more than two. Well, 2,500. Ha ha ha. So we got more than 2 semis worth here in this grain cart, which is impressive for sure. I'm looking at these 2 combines over here. I feel like they're not 100 meters apart. We might need to look into spreading them out just a little bit more, or else we're going to have a lot of problems with them crashing into each other, I think. Looks like they're racing each other right now. So let's let's go ahead and jump over here into the second combine and just take a quick look at his settings. So we do have vehicle convoy on, but at 100 meters, I just feel too close. We're going to bump this up to 150 and see how I feel about that. That just gives us a little bit more space in case something crazy happens. I'm not expecting anything crazy to happen, but you never know. And especially if we're going to have to cut in, which I think we are here in a little bit, because there's no way for me to unload with these fences around. And so that just gives us a chance for the back combine to stop before the next guy gets there. So it looks like we came up just short of making it to the end here where I could have unloaded with ease. So we're going to try and squeeze around this shed here. Luckily, this is one of our farms, I believe, so we're leasing it to somebody else, but we do own all this land, so shouldn't be too big of a deal that we're squeezing around sheds. But, you know, you don't want to tear up a tenant's lawn. Alright, so I should be able to... Whoops, I think I got hung up on me a little bit there. I should be able to get down here and whip around real quick and start unloading this guy at least before he gets full. His flashers are on. And I can't believe we've already got enough to fill another semi, though. We haven't even made it halfway around the field yet. We are definitely going to have a lot of soybeans here. Kind of curious, what's our max capacity here? It doesn't really tell me what our total capacity is because we're using a global company placeable. So I think I have to look in the global company menu when I'm back up at the bin site to see how much I have of anything. I don't think I can really look on the main thing. I guess I could use, is it Control G? And then open the overview menu. And then in here I can see I've got 720,000 liters of capacity. I'm not sure how many bushels that is. Let's take a quick look here. It's about 20,000 bushels. I don't know if that's enough. I don't think we can store all of our soybeans in something in 20,000 bushels. We're going to find out, though. I mean, we've already got 1,000 in the truck there and another 1,400 plus, about to be 2,000 here. So we're at 3,000 out of 20,000 in our first half of a headland pass. The math isn't working for me. It'd be like saying we're at 15% of capacity already. All right, we're pushing our luck just a little bit to get this guy unloaded here. We've got just enough room here to kind of skirt around this creek. I would not want to be getting any closer to the edge, especially with such a full cart. All right, so we have hit that fun point where we are about halfway on the back side of this field, and we are completely full up with the grain cart. So I think the best idea here is going to be for us to go all the way back down to this corner and go unload the semi and come and unload this grain cart here on the corner. So I'm going to set up a courseplay course, I think, from this back corner, since I'm going to need to make at least 3 trips here just to get this grain cart fully unloaded. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to actually grab this truck, but I think the plan is to take it down here to the far corner and actually set up the courseplay course, even though we're already full, just so that we only have to do it once. And so I'm just going to put it here somewhere. This should be good. And we're in grain mode, so I'm going to start course recording. We're going to get our 2 dots gone, and then we're going to do a nice loop-de-loop here that's not too tight, and run this right back up to the farm. Alright, we're going to get right back over here onto the edge. Kind of pull up here a little bit before our start point, and call that a stop. I'm going to start at the first waypoint. We're going to just set it up to drive on automatically when it gets to 100%. And so we're on the manual loading setting. And so this should be pretty straightforward here. Especially with this Balzer unloading so fast. So as soon as this semi gets full, it should take off. Now we're going to just ride along and kind of see that this is actually going to work. And then after we unload the second one here, I should be empty enough to go take those combines around and get back to the main yard, I think. Alright, it looks a little funny, but it seems to be working. I'm just worried we're going to get hung up a smidge as we continue to pull through here. Nope, that's good to go. Now, as long as I make it back out of this contraption without getting stuck, I will be a happy camper. And there we go. Alright, this should make it back down to the other corner of the field with no problemos. Alright, looks like he made it back successfully, so let's go ahead and dump some grain here. Boom. Not quite empty, but empty enough. So let's go out here and get these combines going again. Whew, that was quite the drive to get back up here. I am looking forward to having the headlands opened up and a little bit more options. I think we're going to have to cut through at some point and open up the center part of this field just so that we've got more flexibility to cut through somewhere rather than driving all the way around the outside. We should be able to jump right in here and start getting him unloaded before he gets cranky about being full. There we go. Perfect timing. All right. Is everybody happy now? Everybody's happy now. Our short frame has reached the overload point. The downside of course play updating so frequently is all the changes I made to get rid of the annoying informational messages have been undone by updating course play so frequently. So at some point I'm going to have to go back in and edit the latest version of that to turn those back off. However, in the meantime, he's kind of not in the best spot for us anymore. He's down on the far corner of the map. And now that we get the headland opened up, we're going to be up here a little bit more. So we'll have to figure that out here in a minute. I just want to make sure I've got both of these combines fully emptied first. So now that we've caught up with the second one, we're just going to zip up here and let the lead combine get itself completely empty before we go and try and tackle a side job. And then this should get us to the end of the row here where we started, and then we'll be able to set up a course for this grain cart driver, which is going to really make our lives easier. Once we can set up the grain cart course, assuming that he's a somewhat sane grain cart driver, we're going to be able to use that time to sort out some of the other hiccups that we've got, such as getting the truck set up, probably buying a second truck, likely picking up some more harvest equipment, because with just 2 combines, this is going to take a long time. I'm not looking forward to spending the next 6+ hours working on this. So we've got to make some improvements to this farm, I think, and given how well it's yielding, I'm not afraid of spending a little bit more money on loan to get another harvester or 2 lined up here. So we're gonna have some fun next episode, I think, with buying some equipment. I think today we're gonna focus on getting the headlands done. By the time we get these headlands done, I think that's gonna be a really long episode. We've got the truck sitting down there on the end by the bins, all squared away, so I think we're in a good spot now. After I get these guys unloaded, they should start working on actual up and down rows with the lands mode. So we're getting pretty much set up to see if we can get a course play course going with this grain cart driver, which is going to be awesome, because that's going to hopefully streamline this process a little bit. We've had a little bit of downtime as we were dealing with the trucks and so on and so forth, so this is going to be good. All right, so we're back at the end here with another nearly full cart. So let's see, we already took 3 truckloads up to the bin, and so with this cart we're gonna have another 2+. That's just insane to me. We took headlands off and we got 5 semis of beans. Wow. Yep, we're gonna need more equipment. We're gonna be spending some good money here shortly. At least my fears of being able to keep up with all the loans are hopefully going to be for nothing here. We're gonna find out though. We're definitely gonna be selling our corn here in the winter. I think we're gonna sell nearly all of our corn, keeping just enough to keep the animals going, and see how we do. These beans, as many of these beans as we can hold on to, are going to wait, though, for the high price in the summer, because that's going to be some epic selling there. All right, so this is our 5th semi going into the bins. I'm kind of curious to see what the capacity on these bins are. Not very many of them. I'm a little bit worried, though, that they haven't been set up to have sufficient capacities. I know a lot of bins that I've seen just don't hold as much grain as they should in real life. When I was playing on the Millennial Farmer map, that was one of the changes we made to the new version that hasn't yet been released, was that we set up the bin space to be accurate to real life. So if we come into the global company menu here, you can see we're already at 29% of our total capacity, and all we've done is 1 headland pass around with 2 combines. So we're gonna definitely have some capacity problems here. Offline, I might try to look into seeing just how big these bins actually are. Although looking at it, we don't really have that much bin space. We've only got 2 good-sized bins, and then this kind of smaller medium-sized bin here. So, realistically, we can't really hold that much grain. I wouldn't expect to be able to hold all of this farm's grain in 3 bins. So, we're gonna have to think about what we're gonna do here. With that, we're gonna park this truck here, though, right back under here, and I think we're gonna save the fun with course play and getting this guy running on a course for next episode. This is gonna be a good spot to wrap things up. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought of this episode, and yeah, lots of exciting things to come throughout the rest of this harvest. That's all for today. Ketterk, out.